Welcome to the audio experience of Euripides' Medea. Narrated by Ellison Baird, Justin Norris, Joshua Bacon, Seth Williams, Kenneth Stocks, and Brandon Zenamura.
If only they had never gone! If the Argo's hull never had winged out through the gray-blue jaws of rock and on towards Colchis! If that pine on Pelion slopes had never felt the axe and fallen to put oars into those heroes' hands, who went at Pelias' bidding to fetch the golden fleece, then neither would Medea, my mistress, ever have set sail for the walled town of Iolcus, mad with love for Jason, nor would she, when Pelias' daughters, at her instance, killed their father, have come with Jason and her children to live here in Corinth, where, coming as an exile, she has earned the citizens' welcome, while to Jason she is all obedience. And in marriage that's the saving thing, when a wife obediently accepts her husband's will. But now her world has turned to enmity, and wounds her where her affection's deepest. Jason has betrayed his own sons, and my mistress for a royal bed, for alliance with the king of Corinth. He has married Glaus, Creon's daughter. Poor Medea, scorned and shamed, she raves, invoking every vow and solemn pledge that Jason made her, and calls the gods as witnesses what thanks she has received for her fidelity. She will not eat. She lies collapsed in agony, dissolving the long hours in tears. Since first she heard of Jason's wickedness, she has not raised her eyes or moved her cheek from the hard ground, and when her friends reason with her, she might be a rock or a wave of the sea, for all she hears, unless, maybe, she turns away her lovely head, speaks to herself alone, and wails aloud for her dear father, her own land and home, which she betrayed and left, to come here with this man who now spurns and insults her. Poor Medea! Now she learns through pain what blessings they enjoy who are not uprooted from their native land. She hates her sons. To see them is no pleasure to her. I am afraid some dreadful purpose is forming in her mind. She is a frightening woman. No one who makes an enemy of her will carry off an easy victory. Here come the boys, back from their running. They've no thought of this cruel blow that's fallen on their mother. Well, they're young. Young heads and painful thoughts don't go together. Enter the tutor with Medea's two sons.
Old nurse and servant of my mistress's house, tell me, what are you doing, standing out here by the door, all alone, talking to yourself, harping on trouble? What does Medea say to being left alone?
Old friend, tutor of Jason's sons, an honest slave suffers in her own heart the blow that strikes her mistress. It was too much. I couldn't bear it. I had to come out here and tell my mistress's wrongs to earth and heaven.
Poor woman. Has she not stopped crying yet?
Stopped crying? I envy you. Her grief's just born, not yet half grown.
Poor fool. Though she's my mistress, and I shouldn't say it, she had better save her tears. She has not heard the worst.
The worst? What now? Don't keep it from me. What has happened?
Why, nothing's happened. I'm sorry I said anything.
Look, we're both slaves together. Don't keep me in the dark. Is it so great a secret? I can hold my tongue.
I'd gone along to the benches where the old men play at dice, next to the holy fountain of Pyrene. They thought I was not listening, and I heard one say that Creon, king of Corinth, means to send these boys away from here, to banish them, and their mother too. Whether the story's true, I don't know. I hope not.
But surely Jason won't stand by and see his sons banished, even if he has a quarrel with their mother?
Old love is ousted by new love. Jason's no friend to this house.
Then we're lost. If we must add new trouble to old before we're rid of what we had already.
But listen, it's no time to tell Medea this. Keep quiet. Say nothing about it.
Children, do you hear what sort of father Jason is to you? My curse on...
No, no curse. He is my master. All the same, he is guilty. He has betrayed those near and dear to him.
What man's not guilty? It's taken you a long time to learn that everybody loves himself more than his neighbor. These boys are nothing to their father. He's in love.
Run into the house, boys. Everything will be all right.
The children move away a little.
You do your best to keep them by themselves. As long as she's in this dark mood, don't let them go to her. I've watched her watching them, her eye like a wild bull's. There's something that she means to do, and I know this. She'll not relax her rage till it has found its victim. God grant she strike her enemies and not her friends.
Medea's voice is heard from inside the house.
Oh, what misery, what wretchedness. What shall I do? If only I were dead.
There, you can hear. It is your mother racking her heart, racking her anger. Quick now, children, hurry indoors and don't go within sight of her or anywhere near her. Keep a safe distance. Her mood is cruel, her nature dangerous, her will fierce and intractable. Come on now, in with you both at once.
The children go in, and the tutor follows.
The dark cloud of her lamentations is just beginning. Soon, I know it will burst aflame as her anger rises, deep in passion and unrelenting. What will she do now, stung with insult?
Medea, indoors.
Do I not suffer? Am I not wronged? Should I not weep? Children, your mother is hated, and you are cursed. Death take you, with your father, and perish his whole house.
Oh, the pity of it. Poor Medea. Your children, why? What have they to do with their father's wickedness? Why hate them? I am sick with fear for you, children, terror of what may happen. The mind of a queen is a thing to fear. A queen is used to giving commands, not obeying them, and her rage once roused is hard to appease. To have learnt to live on the common level is better. No grand life for me, just peace and quiet as I grow old. The middle way, neither great nor mean, is best by far, in name and practice. To be rich and powerful brings no blessing, only more utterly is the prosperous house destroyed when the gods are angry. Enter the chorus of Corinthian women. I heard her voice. I heard that unhappy woman from Colchis still crying, not calm yet. Old nurse, tell us about her. As I stood by the door, I heard her crying inside the palace. And my own heart suffers too, when Jason's house is suffering, for that is where my loyalty lies. Jason's house? It no longer exists. All that is finished. Jason is a prisoner in a princess's bed, and Medea is in her room melting her life away in tears. No word from any friend can give her comfort.
Medea, still from indoors.
Come, flame of the sky, pierce through my head. What do I gain from living any longer? Oh, how I hate living. I want to end my life, leave it behind, and die.
O Zeus and earth and light, do you hear the chanted prayer of a wife in her anguish?
Turning to the door and addressing Medea.
What madness is this? The bed you long for, is it what others shrink from? Is it death you demand? Do not pray that prayer, Medea. If your husband is won to a new love, the thing is common. Why let it anger you? Zeus will plead your cause. Check this passionate grief over your husband, which wastes you away.
Mighty Themis, dread Artemis, do you see how I am used, in spite of those great oaths I bound him with by my accursed husband? Oh, may I see Jason and his bride ground to pieces in their shattered palace for the wrong they have dared to do to me, unprovoked. Oh, my father, my city, you I deserted, my brother I shamefully murdered.
Do you hear what my mistress is saying? Clamoring to Themis, hearer of prayer, and to Zeus, who is named guardian of men's oaths? It is no trifling matter that can end a rage like hers. I wish she would come out here and let us see her.
and talk to her. If she would listen, perhaps she would drop this fierce, resentful spirit, this passionate indignation. As a friend, I am anxious to do whatever I can. Go, nurse. Persuade her to come out to us. Tell her we are all on her side. Hurry, before she does harm. To those in there, this passion of hers is an irresistible flood.
I will. I fear I shall not persuade her. Still, I am glad to do my best. Yet as soon as any of us servants goes near to her or tries to speak, she glares at us like a mad bull or a lioness guarding her cubs. The nurse goes to the door, where she turns. The men of old times had little sense. If you called them fools, you wouldn't be far wrong. They invented songs and all the sweetness of music to perform at feasts, banquets, and celebrations. But no one thought of using songs and stringed instruments to banish the bitterness and pain of life. Sorrow is the real cause of deaths and disasters and families destroyed. If music could cure sorrow, it would be precious. But after a good dinner, why sing songs? When people have fed full, they're happy already. The nurse goes in.
I heard her sobbing and wailing, shouting shrill, pitiful accusations against her husband who has betrayed her. She invokes Themis, daughter of Zeus, who witnessed those promises which drew her across from Asia to Hellas, setting sail at night, threading the salt strait, key and barrier to the Pontic Sea.
Medea comes out. She is not shaken with weeping, but cool and self-possessed.
Women of Corinth, I would not have you censure me, so I have come. Many, I know, are proud at heart indoors or out, but others are ill-spoken of as supercilious just because their ways are quiet. There is no justice in the world's censorious eyes. They will not wait to learn a man's true character, though no wrong has been done them. One look and they hate. Of course, a stranger must conform. Even a Greek should not annoy his fellows by crass stubbornness. I accept my place, but this blow that has fallen on me was not to be expected. It has crushed my heart. Life has no pleasure left, dear friends. I want to die. Jason was my whole life. He knows that well. Now, he has proved himself the most contemptible of men. Surely, of all creatures that have life and will, we women are the most wretched. When, for an extravagant sum, we have bought a husband, we must then accept him as possessor of our body. This is to aggravate wrong with worse wrong. Then the great question, will the man we get be bad or good? For women, divorce is not respectable. To repel the man, not possible. Still more, a foreign woman coming among new laws, new customs, needs the skill of magic to find out what her home could not teach her, how to treat the man whose bed she shares. And if in this exacting toil we are successful, and our husband does not struggle under the marriage yoke, our life is enviable. Otherwise, death is better. If a man grows tired of the company at home, he can go out and find a cure for tediousness. We wives are forced to look to one man only. And they tell us, we at home live free from danger. They go out to battle. Fools. I'd rather stand 3 times in the front line than bear 1 child. But the same arguments do not apply to you and me. You have this city, your father's home, the enjoyment of your life, and your friends' company. I am alone. I have no city. Now my husband insults me. I was taken as plunder from a land at the earth's edge. I have no mother, brother, nor any of my own blood to turn to in this extremity. So, I make one request. If I can find a way to work revenge on Jason for his wrongs to me, say nothing. A woman's weak and timid in most matters. The noise of war, the look of steel makes her a coward. But touch her right in marriage, and there's no bloodier spirit.
I'll do as you ask. To punish Jason will be just. I do not wonder that you take such wrongs to heart.
Creon approaches.
But look, Medea, I see Creon, king of Corinth. He must have come to tell you of some new decision.
You there, Medea, scowling rage against your husband. I order you out of Corinth. Take your sons and go into exile. Waste no time. I'm here to see this order enforced, and I'm not going back into my palace until I put you safe outside my boundaries.
Oh, this is the cruel end of my accursed life. My enemies have spread full sail. No welcoming shore waits to receive and save me. Ill-treated as I am, Creon, I ask, for what offense do you banish me?
I fear you. Why wrap up the truth? I fear that you may do my daughter some irreparable harm. A number of things contribute to my anxiety. You're a clever woman, skilled in many evil arts. You're barred from Jason's bed, and that enrages you. I learned too from reports that you have uttered threats of revenge on Jason and his bride and his bride's father. I'll act first, then, in self-defense. I'd rather make you my enemy now than weaken and later pay with tears.
My reputation yet again. Many times, Creon, it has been my curse and ruin. A man of any shrewdness should never have his children taught to use their brains more than their fellows. What do you gain by being clever? You neglect your own affairs, and all your fellow citizens hate you. Those who are fools will call you ignorant and useless when you offer them unfamiliar knowledge. As for those thought intelligent, if people rank you above them, that is a thing they will not stand. I know this from experience because I am clever. They are jealous, while the rest dislike me. After all, I'm not so clever as all that. So you, Creon, are afraid of what? Some harm that I might do to you? Don't let me alarm you, Creon. I'm in no position. A woman to wrong a king? You have done me no wrong. You've given your daughter to the man you chose. I hate my husband, true, but you had every right to do as you have done. So now I bear no grudge against your happiness. Marry your daughter to him, and good luck to you both. But let me live in Corinth. I will bear my wrongs in silence, yielding to superior strength.
Your words are gentle, but my blood runs cold to think what plots you may be nursing deep within your heart. In fact, I trust you so much less now than before. A woman of hot temper and a man the same is a less dangerous enemy than one quiet and clever. So out you go, and quickly. No more arguing. I've made my mind up. You're my enemy. No craft of yours will find a way of staying in my city.
I kneel to you, I beseech you, by the young bride, your child.
You're wasting words. You'll never make me change my mind.
I beg you. Will you cast off pity and banish me?
I will. I have more love for my family than for you.
My home, my country. How my thoughts turn to you now.
I love my country too, next only to my daughter.
Oh, what an evil power love has in people's lives.
That would depend on the circumstances, I imagine.
Great Zeus, remember who caused all this suffering.
Go, you poor wretch. Take all my troubles with you. Go!
I know what trouble is. I have no need of more.
In a moment, you'll be thrown out neck and crop. Here, men!
No, not that. But Creon, I have one thing to ask.
You seem inclined, Medea, to give me trouble still.
I'll go.
She still clings to him.
It was not that I begged.
Then why resist? Why will you not get out?
This one day let me stay, to settle some plans for my exile, make provision for my 2 sons, since their own father is not concerned to help them. Show some pity. You are a father too. You should feel kindly towards them. For myself, exile is nothing. I weep for them. Their fate is very hard.
I'm no tyrant by nature. My soft heart has often betrayed me. And I know it's foolish of me now, yet nonetheless, Medea, you shall have what you ask. But take this warning. If tomorrow's holy sun finds you or them inside my boundaries, you die. This is my solemn word. Now stay here if you must, this one day. You can hardly in one day accomplish what I am afraid of.
Exit Creon.
Medea, poor Medea, your grief touches our hearts. A wanderer, where can you turn? To what welcoming house? To what protecting land? How wild with dread and danger is the sea where the gods have set your course.
Bad predicament all around. Yes, true enough. But don't imagine things will end as they are now. Trials are yet to come for this new wedded pair, nor shall those nearest to them get off easily. Do you think I would ever have fawned so on this man except to gain my purpose, carry out my schemes? Not one touch, not one word. Yet he, what a fool. By banishing me at once, he could have thwarted me utterly. Instead, he allows me to remain 1 day. Today, 3 of my enemies I shall strike dead. Father and daughter, and my husband. I have in mind so many paths of death for them. I don't know which to choose. Should I set fire to the house and burn the bridal chamber? Or creep up to their bed and drive a sharp knife through their guts? There is one fear. If I am caught entering the house or in the act, I die, and the last laugh goes to my enemies. Best is the direct way which most suits my bent, to kill by poison. So, say they are dead. What city will receive me then? What friend will guarantee my safety, offer land and home a sanctuary? None. I'll wait a little. If some strong tower of help appears, I'll carry out this murder cunningly and quietly. But if fate banishes me without resource, I will myself take sword in hand, harden my heart to the uttermost, and kill them both, even if I am to die for it. For by Queen Hecate, whom above all divinities I venerate, my chosen accomplice, to whose presence my central hearth is dedicated, no one of them shall hurt me and not suffer for it. Let me work. In bitterness and pain they shall repent this marriage, repent their houses join, repent my banishment. Come, lay your plan, Medea, scheme with all your skill. On to the deadly moment that shall test your nerve. You see now where you stand. Your father was a king. His father was the sun god. You must not invite laughter from Jason and his new allies, the tribe of Sisyphus. You know what you must do. Besides,
She turns to the chorus.
we were born women, useless for honest purposes, but in all kinds of evil skilled practitioners.
Streams of the sacred rivers flow uphill. Tradition, order, all things are reversed. Deceit is men's device now. Men's oaths are God's dishonor. Legend will now reverse our reputation. A time comes when the female sex is honored. That old discordant slander shall no more hold us subject. Male poets of past ages, with their ballads of faithless women, shall go out of fashion. For Phoebus, prince of music, never bestowed the lyric inspiration through female understanding. Or we'd find themes for poems, we'd counter with our epics against man. Oh, time is old, and in his store of tales men figure no less famous or infamous than women. So you, Medea, wild with love, set sail from your father's house, threading the rocky jaws of the eastern sea, and here, living in a strange country, your marriage lost, your bed solitary, you are driven beyond the borders, an exile with no redress. The grace of sworn oaths is gone. Honor remains no more in the wide Greek world, but is flown to the sky. Where can you turn for shelter? Your father's door is closed against you. Another is now mistress of your husband's bed. A new queen rules in your house. Enter Jason.
I've often noticed this is not the first occasion. What fatal results follow from ungoverned rage. You could have stayed in Corinth, still lived in this house if you had quietly accepted the decisions of those in power. Instead, you talked like a fool, and now you're banished. Well, your angry words don't upset me. Go on as long as you like reciting Jason's crimes. But after your abuse of the king and the princess, think yourself lucky to be let off with banishment. I've tried all the time to calm them down, but you would not give up your ridiculous tirades against the royal family. So, you're banished. However, I will not desert a friend. I have carefully considered your problem and come now, in spite of everything, to see that you and the children are not sent away with an empty purse or unprovided. Exile brings with it a train of difficulties. You no doubt hate me, but I can never bear ill will to you.
You filthy coward! If I knew any worse name for such unmanliness, I'd use it. So, you've come? You, my worst enemy, come to me? Oh, it's not courage, this looking friends in the face after betraying them. It's not even audacity. It's a disease, the worst a man can have, pure shamelessness. However, it is as well you came. To say what I have to say will ease my heart. To hear it said will make you wince. I will begin at the beginning. When you were sent to master the fire-breathing bulls, yoke them, and sow the deadly furrow, then I saved your life. And that every Greek who sailed with you in the Argo knows. The serpent that kept watch over the golden fleece, coiled round it fold on fold, unsleeping, it was I who killed it, and so lit the torch of your success. I willingly deceived my father, left my home. With you I came to Iolcus by Mount Pelion, showing much love and little wisdom. There I put King Peleus to the most horrible of deaths by his own daughter's hands, and ruined his whole house. And in return for this, you have the wickedness to turn me out, to get yourself another wife, even after I had borne you sons? If you had still been childless, I could have pardoned you for hankering after this new marriage. But respect for oaths has gone to the wind. Do you, I wonder, think that the old gods no longer rule, or that new laws are now enforced? You must know you are guilty of perjury to me. My poor right hand, which you so often clasped, my knees, which you then clung to, how we are besmirched and mocked by this man's broken vows and all our hopes deceived. Come, I'll ask your advice as if you were a friend. Not that I hope for any help from you, but still I'll ask you and expose your infamy. Where now can I turn? Back to my country and my father's house, which I betrayed to come with you? Or to Iolcus, to Peleus' wretched daughters? What a welcome they would offer me, who killed their father. Thus it stands. My friends at home now hate me, and in helping you I have earned the enmity of those I had no right to hurt. For my reward, you have made me the envy of Hellene women everywhere. A marvelous husband I have, and faithful too. In the name of pity, when I am banished, thrown out of the country without a friend, alone with my forlorn waifs. Yes, a shining shame it will be to you, the new-made bridegroom, that your own sons and I, who saved your life, are begging beside the road. Oh, Zeus, why have you given us clear signs to tell true gold from counterfeit? But when we need to know bad men from good, the flesh bears no revealing mark.
The fiercest anger of all, the most incurable, is that which rages in the place of dearest love.
I have to show myself a clever speaker, it seems. This hurricane of recrimination and abuse calls for good seamanship. I'll furl all but an inch of sail and ride it out. To begin with, since you build to such a height your services to me, I hold that credit for my successful voyage was solely due to Aphrodite. No one else, divine or human. I admit, you have intelligence, but to recount how helpless passion drove you then to save my life would be invidious, and I will not stress the point. Your services, so far as they went, were well enough, but in return for saving me, you got far more than you gave. Allow me, in the first place, to point out that you left a barbarous land to become a resident of Hellas. Here you have known justice. You have lived in a society where force yields place to law. Moreover, here your gifts are widely recognized. You are famous. If you still lived at the ends of the earth, your name would never be spoken. Personally, unless life brings me fame, I long neither for hoards of gold nor for a voice sweeter than Orpheus. Well, you began the argument about my voyage, and that's my answer. As for your scurrilous taunts against my marriage with the royal family, I shall show you that my action was wise, not swayed by passion, and directed towards your interests and my children's. No, keep quiet. When I came here from Iolcus as a stateless exile, dogged and thwarted by misfortunes, why, what luckier chance could I have met than marriage with the king's daughter? It was not, as you resentfully assume, that I found your attractions wearisome and was smitten with desire for a new wife, nor did I specially want to raise a numerous family. The sons we have are enough. I'm satisfied. But I wanted to ensure first, and the most important, that we should live well and not be poor. I know how a poor man is shunned by all his friends. Next, that I could bring up my sons in a manner worthy of my descent. Have other sons, perhaps, as brothers to your children. Give them all an equal place, and so build up a closely knit and prosperous family. You need no more children, do you? While I thought it worthwhile to ensure advantages for those I have by means of those I hope to have. Was such a plan then wicked? Even you would approve if you could govern your sex jealousy, but you women have reached a state where, if all's well with your sex life, you've everything you wish for. But when that goes wrong, at once all that is best and noblest turns to gall. If only children could be got some other way, without the female sex. If women didn't exist, human life would be rid of all its miseries.
Jason, you have set your case forth very plausibly. But to my mind, though you may be surprised at this, you are acting wrongly in thus abandoning your wife.
No doubt I differ from many people in many ways. To me, a wicked man who is also eloquent seems the most guilty of them all. He'll cut your throat as bold as brass because he knows he can dress up murder in handsome words. He's not so clever after all. You dare outface me now with glib high-mindedness? One word will throw you. If you were honest, you ought first to have won me over, not got married behind my back.
No doubt if I had mentioned it, you would have proved most helpful. Why, even now you will not bring yourself to calm this raging temper.
That was not the point. But you're an aging man, and an Asiatic wife was no longer respectable.
Understand this. It's not for the sake of any woman that I have made this royal marriage, but, as I've already said, to ensure your future and to give my children brothers of royal blood and build security for us all.
I loathe your prosperous future. I'll have none of it, nor none of your security. It galls my heart.
You know, you'll change your mind and be more sensible. You'll soon stop thinking good is bad and striking these pathetic poses when in fact you're fortunate.
Go on, insult me. You have a roof over your head. I am alone, an exile.
It was your own choice. Blame no one but yourself.
My choice? What did I do? Did I make you my wife and then abandon you?
You called down wicked curses on the king and his house.
I did. On your house too. Fate sends me as a curse.
I'll not pursue this further. If there's anything else I can provide to meet the children's needs or yours, tell me. I'll gladly give whatever you want or send letters of introduction, if you'd like, to friends who will help you. Listen, to refuse such help is mad. You've everything to gain if you give up this rage.
Nothing would induce me to have dealings with your friends, nor to take any gift of yours, so offer none. A lying trader's gifts carry no luck.
Very well. I call the gods to witness that I have done my best to help you and the children. You make no response to kindness. Friendly overtures you obstinately reject. So much the worse for you.
Go! You have spent too long out here. You are consumed with craving for your newly won bride. Go enjoy her.
Exit Jason.
It may be, and God uphold my words, that this your marriage day will end with marriage lost, loathing and horror left.
Visitations of love that come raging and violent on a man bring him neither good repute nor goodness. But if Aphrodite descends in gentleness, no other goddess brings such delight. Never, Queen Aphrodite, loose against me from your golden bow, dipped in sweetness of desire, your inescapable arrow. Innocence, the gods' loveliest gift, choose me for her own. Never may the dread Cyprian craze my heart to leave old love for new, sending to assault me, angry disputes and feuds unending. But let her judge shrewdly the loves of women, and respect the bed where no war rages. O my country, my home, may the gods save me from becoming a stateless refugee, dragging out an intolerable life in desperate helplessness. That is the most pitiful of all griefs. Death is better. Should such a day come to me, I pray for death first. Of all pains and hardships, none is worth than to be deprived of your native land. It is no mere reflection derived from hearsay. It is something we have seen. You, Medea, have suffered the most shattering of blows, yet neither the city of Corinth nor any friend has taken pity on you. May dishonor and ruin fall on the man who, having unlocked the secrets of a friend's frank heart, can then disown him. He shall be no friend of mine.
All happiness to you, Medea. Between old friends, there's no better greeting.
All happiness to you, Aegis, son of Pandion the Wise. Where have you come from?
From Delphi, from the ancient oracle of Apollo.
The center of the earth? The home of prophecy? Why did you go?
To ask for children, that my seed may become fertile.
Why? Have you lived so many years childless?
Childless I am, so some fate has ordained.
You have a wife or not?
I am married.
And what answer did Phoebus give you about children?
His answer was too subtle for me or any human interpreter.
Is it lawful for me to hear it?
Certainly, a brain like yours is what is needed.
Tell me, since you may.
He commanded me not to unstop the wineskin's neck.
Yes? Until when?
Until I came safe home again.
I see. And for what purpose have you sailed to Corinth?
You know the king of Trozen, Pythias, son of Pelops?
Yes, a most pious man.
I want to ask his advice about this oracle.
He is an expert in such matters.
Yes, and my closest friend. We went to the wars together.
I hope you will get all you long for and be happy.
But you are looking pale and wasted. What is the matter?
Aegis, my husband's the most evil man alive.
Why, what's this? Tell me all about your unhappiness.
Jason has betrayed me, though I never did him wrong.
What has he done? Explain exactly.
He has taken another wife and made her mistress of my house.
But such a thing is shameful. He has never dared.
It is so. Once he loved me, now I am disowned.
Was he tired of you? Or did he fall in love elsewhere?
Oh, passionately. He's not a man his friends can trust.
Well, if, as you say, he's a bad lot, let him go.
It's royalty and power he's fallen in love with.
What? Go on. Who's the girl's father?
Creon, king of Corinth.
I see. Then you have every reason to be upset.
This is the end of everything. What's more, I'm banished.
Worse still, extraordinary. Why, who has banished you?
Creon has banished me from Corinth.
And does Jason accept this? How disgraceful.
Oh no, he protests, but he's resolved to bear it bravely. Aegis, see, I touch your beard as a suppliant, embrace your knees, imploring you to have pity on my wretchedness. Have pity. I am an exile. Let me not be friendless. Receive me in Athens. Give me a welcome in your house. So may the gods grant you fertility and bring your life to a happy close. You have not realized what good luck chance has brought you. I know certain drugs whose power will put an end to your sterility. I promise you shall beget children.
I am anxious, for many reasons, to help you in this way, Medea. First, for the gods' sake, then this hope you've given me of children, for I've quite despaired of my own powers. This then is what I'll do. Once you can get to Athens, I'll keep my promise and protect you all I can. But I must make this clear first. I do not intend to take you with me away from Corinth. If you come yourself to Athens, you shall have sanctuary there. I will not give you up to anyone. But first, get clear of Corinth without help. The Corinthians too are friends of mine, and I don't wish to give offense.
So be it. Now, confirm your promise with an oath, and all is well between us.
Why? Do you not trust me? What troubles you?
I trust you, but I have enemies, not only Creon, but the house of Peleus. Once you are bound by oaths, you will not give me up if they should try to take me out of your territory. But if your promise is verbal and not sworn to the gods, perhaps you will make friends with them and agree to do what they demand. I've no power on my side, while they have wealth and all the resources of a royal house.
Your forethought is remarkable, but since you wish it, I've no objection. In fact, the taking of an oath safeguards me, since I can confront your enemies with a clear excuse, while you have full security. So name your god.
Swear by the earth under your feet, by the sun, my father's father, and the whole race of gods.
Tell me what I shall swear to do or not to do.
Never yourself to expel me from your territory, and if my enemies want to take me away, never willingly, while you live, to give me up to them.
I swear by earth and by the burning light of the sun and all the gods to keep the words you have just spoken.
I am satisfied. And if you break your oath, what then?
Then may the gods do to me as to all guilty men.
Go now, and joy be with you. Everything is well. I'll reach your city as quickly as I can. when I have carried out my purpose and achieved my wish.
Aegis clasps her hand and hurries off.
May Hermes, protector of travelers, bring you safe to your home, Aegis. May you accomplish all that you so earnestly desire, for your noble heart wins our goodwill.
O Zeus, O Justice, daughter of Zeus, O glorious son, now I am on the road to victory. Now there's hope. I shall see my enemies punished as they deserve. Just where my plot was weakest, at that very point, help has appeared in this man, Aegis. He is a haven where I shall find safe mooring once I reach the walls of the city of Athens. Now, I'll tell you all my plans. They'll not make pleasant hearing.
Medea's nurse has entered. She listens in silence.
First, I'll send a slave to Jason, asking him to come to me, and then I'll give him soft talk. Tell him he has acted well. Tell him I think this royal marriage which he has bought with my betrayal is for the best and wisely planned. But I shall beg that my children be allowed to stay. Not that I would think of leaving sons of mine behind on enemy soil for those who hate me to insult. But in my plot to kill the princess, they must help. I'll send them to the palace bearing gifts, a dress of soft weave and a coronet of beaten gold. If she takes and puts on this finery, both she and all who touch her will expire in agony. With such a deadly poison, I'll anoint my gifts. However, enough of that. What makes me cry with pain is the next thing I have to do. I will kill my sons. No one shall take my children from me. When I have made Jason's whole house a shambles, I will leave Corinth a murderess, flying from my darling children's blood. Yes, I can endure guilt, however horrible. The laughter of my enemies I will not endure. Now let things take their course. What use is life to me? I have no land, no home, no refuge from despair. My folly was committed long ago, when I was ready to desert my father's house, won over by eloquence from a Greek, whom with God's help I now will punish. He shall never see alive again the sons he had from me. From his new bride he never shall breed a son. She, by my poison, wretched girl, must die a hideous death. Let no one think of me as humble or weak or passive. Let them understand I am of a different kind, dangerous to my enemies, loyal to my friends. To such a life glory belongs.
Since you have told us everything, and since I want to be your friend, and also to uphold the laws of human life, I tell you, you must not do this.
No other thing is possible. You have excuse for speaking so. You have not been treated as I have.
But to kill your own children, can you steal your heart?
This is the way to deal Jason the deepest wound.
This way will bring you to the deepest misery.
Let be. Until it is done, words are unnecessary. Nurse, you are the one I use for messages of trust. Go and bring Jason here. As you are a loyal servant and a woman, breathe no word about my purposes.
Exit nurse.
The people of Athens, sons of Euripides, have enjoyed their prosperity since ancient times. Children of blessed gods, they grew from holy soil unscorched by invasion. Among the glories of knowledge, their souls are pastured. They walk always with grace under the sparkling sky. There long ago, they say, was born golden-haired Harmony, created by the 9 virgin muses of Pieria. They say that Aphrodite dips her cup in the clear stream of the lovely Cephasus. It is she who breathes over the land the breath of gentle honey-laden winds, her flowing locks she crowns with a diadem of sweet-scented roses, and sends the loves to be enthroned beside knowledge, and with her to create excellence in every art. Then how will such a city, watered by sacred rivers, a country giving protection to its friends, how will Athens welcome you, the child killer whose presence is pollution? Contemplate the blow struck at a child, weigh the blood you take upon you. Medea, by your knees, do every pledge or appeal, we beseech you, do not slaughter your children. Where will you find hardness of purpose? How will you build resolution in hand or heart to face horror without flinching? When the moment comes and you look at them, the moment for you to assume the role of murderess, how will you do it? When your sons kneel to you for pity, will you stain your fingers with their blood? Your heart will melt. You will know you cannot.
Enter Jason from the palace. 2 maids come from the house to attend Medea. You sent for me. I have come. Although you hate me, I am ready to listen. You have some new request. What is it?
Jason, I ask you to forgive the things I said. You must bear with my violent temper. You and I share many memories of love. I've been taking myself to task. You are a fool, I've told myself. You're mad when people try to plan things for the best, to be resentful and pick quarrels with the king and with your husband. What he's doing will help us all. His wife is royal. Her sons will be my son's brothers. Why not throw off your anger? What is the matter since the gods are making kind provision? After all, I have 2 children still to care for, and I know we came as exiles, and our friends are few enough. When I considered this, I saw my foolishness. I saw how useless anger was. So now I welcome what you have done. I think you are wise to gain for us this new alliance, and the folly was all mine. I should have helped you in your plans, made it my pleasure to get ready your marriage bed, attend your bride. But we women, I won't say we are bad by nature, but we are what we are. You, Jason, should not copy our bad example, or match yourself with us, showing folly for folly. I give in. I was wrong just now, I admit, but I have thought more wisely of it since. Children, are you indoors? Come out here.
The children come out. Their tutor follows.
Children, greet your father as I do, and put your arms round him. Forget our quarrel and love him as your mother does. We have made friends. We are not angry anymore. There, children, take his hand.
She turns away in a sudden flood of weeping.
Forgive me. I recalled what pain the future hides from us.
After embracing Jason, the children go back to Medea.
Oh, children, will you all your lives long stretch out your hands to me like this? Oh, my tormented heart is full of tears and terrors. After so long, I have ended my quarrel with your father, and now, see, I have drenched this young face with my tears.
I too feel fresh tears fill my eyes. May the course of evil be checked now. Go no further.
I am pleased, Medea, that you have changed your mind. Though indeed I do not blame your first resentment. Only naturally a woman is angry when her husband marries a second wife. You have had wiser thoughts, and though it has taken time, you have recognized the right decision. This is the act of a sensible woman. As for you, my boys, your father has taken careful thought and, with the help of the gods, ensured a good life for you. Why, in time, I'm sure, you with your brothers will be leading men in Corinth. Only grow big and strong. Your father and those gods who are his friends have all the rest under control. I want to see you, when you're strong, full-grown young men, tread down my enemies. Again, Medea breaks down and weeps. What's this? Why these floods of tears? Why are you pale? Did you not like what I was saying? Why do you turn away?
It is nothing. I was thinking about these children.
I'll provide for them. Cheer up.
I will. It is not that I mean to doubt your word, but women are women. Tears come naturally to us.
Why do you grieve so over the children?
I'm their mother. When you now just prayed for them to live long, I wondered whether it would be so, and grief came over me. But I've said only part of what I had to say. Here is the other thing. Since Creon has resolved to send me out of Corinth, I fully recognize that for me too this course is best. If I lived here, I should become a trouble both to you and him. People believe I bear a grudge against you all, so I must go. But the boys, I would like them to be brought up in your care. Beg Creon to let them stay.
I don't know if I can persuade him, but I'll try.
Then, get your wife to ask her father to let them stay.
Why, certainly. I'm pretty sure she'll win him over.
She will, if she's like other women. But I too can help in this. I'll send a present to your wife, the loveliest things to be found anywhere on earth. The boys shall take them. One of you maids, go quickly, bring the dress and golden coronet. They will multiply her happiness many times, when she can call her own a royal, noble husband and these treasures, which my father's father, the son, bequeathed to his descendants?
A slave has brought a casket, which Medea now hands to her sons.
Boys, hold these gifts. Now carry them to the happy bride, the Princess Royal. Give them into her own hands. Go, she will find them all that such a gift should be.
But why deprive yourself of such things, foolish woman? Do you think a royal palace is in want of dresses? Or gold, do you suppose? Keep them, don't give them away. If my wife values me at all, she will yield to me more than to costly presents, I'm sure of that.
Don't stop me. Gifts, they say, persuade even the gods. With mortals, gold outweighs 1,000 arguments. The day is hers. From now on, her prosperity will rise to new heights. She is royal and young. To buy my sons from exile, I would give life, not just gold. Come, children, go both of you into this rich palace. Kneel down and beg your father's new wife and my mistress that you may not be banished. And above all, see that she receives my presents into her own hands. Go quickly, be successful, and bring good news back. That which your mother longs for has been granted you.
Exit Jason, followed by the children and the tutor.
Now I have no more hope. No more hope that the children can live. They are walking to murder at this moment. The bride will receive the golden coronet, receive her merciless destroyer. With her own hands she will carefully fit the adornment of death round her golden hair. She cannot resist such loveliness, such heavenly gleaming. She will enfold herself in the dress and the wreath of wrought gold, preparing her bridal beauty to enter a new home among the dead. So fatal is the snare she will fall into, so inevitable the death that awaits her. From its cruelty there is no escape. And you, unhappy Jason, ill-starred in marriage, you, son-in-law of kings, little you know that the favor you ask will seal your son's destruction and fasten your wife a hideous fate. O wretched Jason, so sure of destiny and so ignorant. Your sorrow next I weep for, pitiable mother. You, for jealousy of your marriage bed, will slaughter your children, since disregarding right and loyalty, your husband has abandoned you and lives with another wife.
The tutor returns from the palace with the two children.
Mistress, these 2 boys are reprieved from banishment. The princess took your gifts from them with her own hand and was delighted. They have no enemies in the palace.
Medea is silent.
Well, bless my soul, isn't that good news? Why do you stand there thunderstruck?
Medea to herself.
How cruel, how cruel.
That's out of tune with the news I brought.
How cruel life is.
Have I, without knowing it, told something dreadful then? I thought my news was good.
Your news is what it is. I'm not blaming you.
Then why stand staring at the ground with streaming eyes?
Strong reason forces me to weep, old friend. The gods and my own evil-hearted plots have led to this.
Take heart, mistress. In time, your sons will bring you home.
Before then, I have others to send home. Oh gods!
She weeps.
You're not the only mother parted from her sons. We are all mortal. You must not grieve so hard.
Yes, friend. I'll follow your advice. Now go indoors and get things ready for them as on any other day.
Exit tutor. The children come to Medea.
Oh, children, children, you have a city and a home. And when we have parted, there you will both stay forever. You motherless, I miserable. And I must go to exile in another land before I have had my joy of you, before I have seen you growing up, becoming prosperous. I shall never see your brides, adorn your bridal beds, and hold the torches high. My misery is in my own heart, which will not relent. All was for nothing then, these years of rearing you. My care, my aching weariness, and the wild pains when you were born. Oh yes, I once built many hopes on you. Imagined pitifully that you would care for my old age, and would yourselves wrap my dead body for burial. How people would envy me, my sons! That sweet, sad thought has faded now. Parted from you, my life will be all pain and anguish. You will not look at your mother any more with these dear eyes. You will have moved into a different sphere of life. Dear sons, why are you staring at me so? You smile at me, Your last smile. Why?
She weeps. The children go from her a little, and she turns to the chorus.
What am I to do? Woman, my courage is all gone. Their young, bright faces, I can't do it. I'll think no more of it. I'll take them away from Corinth. Why should I hurt them to make their father suffer, when I shall suffer twice as much myself? I won't do it. I won't think of it again. What is the matter with me? Are my enemies to laugh at me? Am I to let them off scot-free? I must steel myself to it. What a coward I am, even tempting my own resolution with soft talk. Boys, go indoors.
The children go to the door, but stay there watching her.
If there is any here who finds it not lawful to be present at my sacrifice, let him see to it. My hand shall not weaken. Oh, my heart. Don't do it. Oh, miserable heart, let them be. Spare your children. We'll all live together safely in Athens, and they will make you happy. No. By all the fiends of hate and hell's depths, no. I'll not leave sons of mine to be the victims of my enemy's rage. In any case, there's no escape. The thing's done now. Yes, now. The golden coronet is on her head, the royal bride in her dress. Dying, I know it. So, since I have a sad road to travel, and send these boys on still a sadder road, I'll speak to them. Come, children, give me your hand, dear son, yours too. Now we must say goodbye. Oh, darling hand and darling mouth, your noble childlike face and body. Dear sons, my blessings on you both. But there, not here. All blessing here your father has destroyed. How sweet to hold you, and children's skin is soft and their breath pure. Go away. I can't look at you any longer. My pain is more than I can bear.
The children go indoors.
I understand the horror of what I'm going to do. But anger, the spring of all life's horror, masters my resolve.
Medea goes to stand looking towards the palace.
I have often engaged in arguments and become more subtle and perhaps more heated than is suitable for women. Though in fact women too have intelligence, which forms part of our nature and instructs us. Not all of us, I admit, but a certain few you might perhaps find in a large number of women, a few not incapable of reflection. And this is my opinion. Those men or women who never had children of their own at all enjoy the advantage in good fortune over those who are parents. Childless people have no means of knowing whether children are a blessing or a burden, but being without them they live exempt from many troubles. While those who have growing up in their homes the sweet gift of children, I see always burdened and worn with incessant worry. First, how to rear them in health and safety, and bequeath them in time enough to live on, and then this further anxiety. They can never know whether all their toil is spent for worthy or worthless children. And beyond the common ills that attend all human life, there is one still worse. Suppose at last they are pretty well off. Their children have grown up, and what's more, are kind and honest. Then what happens? A throw of chance, and there goes death bearing off your child into the unknown. Then why should mortals thank the gods who add to their load, already grievous, this one more grief for their children's sake, most grievous of all?
Friends, I have long been waiting for a message from the palace. What is to happen next? I see a slave of Jason's coming, gasping for breath. He must bring fearful news.
Enter a messenger.
Medea, get away, escape! Oh, what a thing to do! What an unholy, horrible thing! Take ship or chariot, any means you can, but escape!
Why should I escape?
She's dead. The princess and her father Creon, too. They're both dead by your poisons.
Your news is excellent. I count you from today my friend and benefactor.
What? Are you sane or raving mad? When you've committed this hideous crime against the royal house, you're glad at hearing of it? Do you not tremble at such things?
I could make suitable reply to that, my friend. But take your time now. Tell me, how did they die? You'll give me double pleasure if their death was horrible.
When your two little boys came hand in hand and entered the palace with their father, where the wedding was, we servants were delighted. We had all felt sorry to hear how you'd been treated. And now the word went round from one to another that you and Jason had made it up. So we were glad to see the boys. One kissed their hand, another their fair hair. Myself, I was so pleased, I followed with them to the princess's room. Our mistress, the one we now call mistress in your place, before she saw your pair of boys coming, had eyes only for Jason. But seeing them, she dropped her eyes and turned her lovely cheek away, upset that they should come into her room. Your husband then began to soothe her sulkiness, her girlish temper. You must not, he said, be unfriendly to our friends. Turn your head round and give up feeling angry. Those your husband loves, you must love too. Now take these gifts, he said, and ask your father to revoke their exile for my sake. So, when she saw those lovely things, she was won over and agreed to all that Jason asked. At once, before he and your sons were well out of the house, she took the embroidered gown and put it round her. Then she placed over her curls the golden coronet and began to arrange her hair in a bright mirror, smiling at her lifeless form reflected there. Then she stood up and to and fro stepped daintily about the room on white bare feet, and many times she would twist back to see how the dress fell in clear folds to the heel. Then suddenly we saw a frightening thing. She changed color. She staggered sideways, shook in every limb. She was just able to collapse onto a chair, or she would have fallen flat. Then one of her attendants, an old woman, thinking that perhaps the anger of Pan or some other god had struck her, chanted the cry of worship. But then she saw oozing from the girl's lips white froth. The pupils of her eyes were twisted out of sight. The blood was drained from all her skin. The old woman knew her mistake and changed her chant to a despairing howl. One maid ran off quickly to fetch the king, another to look for Jason and tell him what was happening to his young bride. The whole palace was filled with the clatter of people running here and there. All this took place in a few moments, perhaps while a fast runner might run 100 yards, and she lay speechless with eyes closed. Then she came to, poor girl, and gave a frightful scream. As two torments made war on her together, first the golden coronet round her head discharged a stream of unnatural devouring fire, while the fine dress your children gave her, poor miserable girl, the stuff was eating her clear flesh. She leapt up from her chair on fire and ran, shaking her head and her long hair this way and that, trying to shake off the coronet. The ring of gold was fitted close and would not move. The more she shook her head, the fiercer the flame burned. At last, exhausted by agony, she fell to the ground. Save to her father, she was unrecognizable. Her eyes, her face, were one grotesque disfigurement. Down from her head dripped blood mingled with flame, her flesh attacked by the invisible fangs of poison, melted from the bare bone like gumdrops from a pine tree's bark. A ghastly sight. No one among us dared to touch her body. What we'd seen was lesson enough for us. But suddenly, her father came into the room. He did not understand, poor man, what kind of death had struck his child. He threw himself down at her side and sobbed aloud and kissed her and took her in his arms and cried, "Poor darling child, what god destroyed your life so cruelly? Who robs me of my only child, old as I am and near my grave? Oh, let me die with you, my daughter." Soon he ceased his tears and cries and tried to lift his aged body upright. And then, as ivy sticks to laurel branches, so he stuck fast to the dress. A ghastly wrestling then began. He struggled to raise up his knee. She tugged him down. If he used force, he tore the old flesh off his bones. At length the king gave up his pitiful attempts. Weakened with pain, he yielded and gasped out his life. Now joined in death, daughter and father was such a sight as tears were made for. They lie there. To you, Medea, I have no more to say. You will yourself know best how to evade reprisal. As for human life, it is a shadow, as I have long believed, and this I say without hesitation. Those whom most would call intelligent, the propounders of wise theories, their folly is all of men's the most culpable. Happiness is a thing no man possesses. Fortune may come now to one man, now to another. As prosperity increases, happiness never.
Exit messenger.
Today we see the will of heaven, blow after blow, bring down on Jason justice and calamity.
Friends, now my course is clear. As quickly as possible to kill the children, and then fly from Corinth, not delay and so consign them to another hand to murder with a better will. For they must die in any case, and since they must, then I, who gave them birth, will kill them. Arm yourself, my heart. The thing that you must do is fearful, yet inevitable. Why wait then? My accursed hand, come, take the sword, take it, and forward to your frontier of despair. No cowardice, no tender memories. Forget that you once loved them, that of your body they were born. For one short day, forget your children. Afterwards, weep. Though you kill them, they were your beloved sons. Life has been cruel to me.
Medea goes into the house.
Earth, awake! Bright arrows of the sun, look down on the accursed woman before she lifts up a murderous hand to pollute it with her children's blood. For they are of your own golden race, and for mortals to spill blood that grew in the veins of gods is a fearful thing. Heaven-born brightness, hold her, stop her, purge the palace of her, this pitiable, bloody-handed fiend of vengeance. All your care for them lost, your love for the babes you bore, all wasted. Why did you come from the blue Symplegades that hold the gate of the barbarous sea? Why must this rage devour your heart, to spend itself in slaughter of children? Where kindred blood pollutes the ground, a curse hangs over human lives, and murder measures the doom that falls by heaven's law on the guilty house.
A child's scream is heard from inside the house.
Do you hear? The children are calling for help. Oh, cursed, miserable woman!
Help, Mother, let me go! Mother, don't kill us!
Shall we go in? I am sure we ought to save the children's lives.
Help, for the God's sake! She is killing us and we can't escape from her sword!
O miserable mother, to destroy your own increase, murder the babes of your body, stone and iron you are, as you resolve to be. There was but one in time past, one woman that I have heard of, raised hand against her own children. It was Ino, sent out of her mind by a god, when Hera, the wife of Zeus, drove her from her home to wander over the world. In her misery, she plunged into the sea, being defiled by the murder of her children. From the steep cliff's edge, she stretched out her foot, and so ended, joined in death with her 2 sons. What can be strange or terrible after this? O bed of women, full of passion and pain, what wickedness, what sorrow you have caused on the earth!
Enter Jason, running and breathless. You women, standing round the door there. Is Medea still in the house? Vile murderess, or has she gone and escaped? I swear she must either hide in the deep earth or soar on wings into the sky's abyss to escape my vengeance for the royal house. She has killed the king and the princess. Does she expect to go unpunished? Well, I am less concerned with her than with the children. Those who have suffered at her hands will make her suffer. I've come to save my sons before Creon's family murder them in revenge for this unspeakable crime of their mothers.
Jason, you have yet to learn how great your trouble is, or you would have not spoken so.
What trouble? Is Medea trying to kill me too?
Your sons are dead. Their mother has killed both your sons.
What? Killed my sons? That word kills me.
They are both dead.
Where are they? Did she kill them out here or indoors?
Open that door and see them lying in their blood.
Slaves, there, unbar the doors. Open and let me see two horrors. My dead sons and the woman I will kill. Jason batters at the doors. Medea appears above the roof, sitting in a chariot drawn by dragons, with the bodies of the two children beside her.
Jason, why are you battering at these doors, seeking the dead children and me who killed them? Stop. Be quiet. If you have any business with me, say what you wish. Touch us you cannot. In this chariot which the sun has sent to save us from the hands of enemies.
You abomination! Of all women most detested by every god, by me, by the whole human race. You could endure, a mother, to lift sword against your own little ones, to leave me childless, my life wrecked? After such murder, do you outface both sun and earth, guilty of gross pollution? May the gods blast your life! I am sane now, but I was mad before, when I brought you from your palace in a land of savages into a Greek home. You, a living curse, already a traitor both to your father and your native land. The vengeance due for your sins the gods have cast on me. You had already murdered your brother at his own hearth, when first you stepped on board my lovely Argo's hull. That was your beginning. Then you became my wife and bore my children. Now, out of mere sexual jealousy, you murder them. In all Hellas, there is not one woman who could have done it. Yet, in preference to them, I married you, chose hatred and murder for my wife. No woman, but a tiger, a Tuscan Scylla, but more savage. Ah, what's the use? If I cursed you all day, no remorse would touch you, for your heart's proof against feeling. Go, out of my sight, polluted fiend, child murderer. Leave me to mourn over my destiny. I have lost my young bride. I have lost the two sons I begot and brought up. I shall never see them alive again.
I would, if necessary, have answered at full length everything you have said. But Zeus, the father of all, knows well what service I once rendered you, and how you have repaid me. You were mistaken if you thought you could dishonor my bed and live a pleasant life and laugh at me. The princess was wrong too, and so was Creon when he took you for his son-in-law and thought he could exile me with impunity. So now, am I a tiger, Scylla? Hurl at me what names you please. I've reached your heart, and that is right.
You suffer too. My loss is yours no less.
It is true, but my pain's a fair price to take away your smile.
Oh, children, what a wicked mother fate gave you.
Oh, sons, your father's treachery cost you your lives.
It was not my hand that killed my sons.
No, not your hand, but your insult to me and your new wedded wife.
You thought that reason enough to murder them? That I no longer slept with you?
And is that injury a slight one, do you imagine, to a woman?
Yes, to a modest woman, but to you the whole world lost.
I can stab too. Your sons are dead.
Dead? No, they live, to haunt your life with vengeance.
Who began this feud? The gods know.
Yes, they know the vileness of your heart.
Loathe on, your bitter voice, how I abhor the sound.
As I loathe yours. Let us make terms and part at once.
Most willingly. What terms? What do you bid me do?
Give me my sons for burial and mourning rites.
Oh no. I will myself convey them to the temple of Hera Acrea. There, in the holy precinct, I will bury them with my own hand to ensure that none of my enemies shall violate or insult their graves. And I will ordain an annual feast and sacrifice to be solemnized forever by the people of Corinth, to expiate this impious murder. I myself will go to Athens, city of Erechtheus, to make my home with Aegis, son of Pandion. You, as you deserve, shall die an unheroic death, your head shattered by a timber from the Argo's hull. Thus, wretchedly, your fate shall end the story of your love for me.
The curse of children's blood be on you. Avenging justice blast your being.
What god will hear your imprecation, oath breaker, guest deceiver, liar?
Unclean, abhorrent child destroyer.
Go home. Your wife waits to be buried.
I go, a father once, now childless.
You grieve too soon. Old age is coming.
Children, how dear you were.
To their mother, not to you.
Dear, and you murdered them.
Yes, Jason, to break your heart.
I long to fold them in my arms. To kiss their lips would comfort me.
Now you have loving words, now kisses for them. Then you disowned them, sent them into exile.
For God's sake, let me touch their gentle flesh.
You shall not. It is a waste of breath to ask.
Zeus, do you hear how I am mocked, rejected by this savage beast, polluted with her children's blood? But now, as time and strength permit, I will lament this grievous day, and call the gods to witness how you killed my sons, and now refuse to let me touch or bury them. Would God I had not bred them or ever lived to see them dead. You, their destroyer. During this speech, the chariot has moved out of sight.
Many are the fates which Zeus in Olympus dispenses. Many matters the gods bring to surprising ends. The things we thought would happen do not happen. The unexpected God makes possible, and such is the conclusion of this story.